All right. Good morning, everybody. Last week we talked about sharing happiness, and this week we're going to talk about the Irwin family helps animals. So let's go on down into our regular edition. All right, here we go. What are we talking about this week? We are talking about the Irwin family helps animals. A famous family helps many wild animals. When we say famous, we mean that a lot of people know the Irwin family. The reason that a lot of people know the Irwin family is because Steve Irwin, the dad, who has unfortunately passed away, went all around the world and did all kinds of shows to promote the wild animals of Australia. And he did a really amazing job going around and familiarizing everybody with the wild animals that are in Australia. And that's what made him famous. This family is the Irwin family. Steve and his wife both have two kids, and they are from Australia. The Irwin family has a TV show. The Irwin family owns a zoo called the Australian Zoo. So the whole family helps, runs, and owns the Australian Zoo. Unfortunately, Australia had a big wildfires in 2019 and 2020. The wildfires burned quickly through the wilderness. The wildfires hurt many wild animals. And the reason this is because a lot of times a wildfire, it goes so fast and so quick that it can surround the poor animals. It surrounds animals, it surrounds towns and homes and all kinds of things because the fire will jump around. It doesn't come just from like one area. There's one big fire, but there's also little fires around it that can sort of trap animals. And the wildfire hurt many of the wild animals. The Irwin family wanted to help the animals. The Irwin family brought animals to the Australia Zoo. This zoo is in Queensland, Australia, so it is in the northeast region of Australia, right next to the Coral Sea and the Great Barrier Reef. The Australia Zoo includes a hospital for wild animals, and those people that work in the hospital are called veterinarians. Those are the doctors or physicians for an animal. The doctors cared for the hurt animals at the hospital. The animals included koalas, bilbies, kangaroos, foxes, and platypus. However, I'm sure there's so many more animals that were brought to this zoo. Dingoes, kiwis, there's just so many snakes and spiders and all kinds of animals in Australia. So I'm sure the hospital did have its hands full during the fire. Some animals had burns from the wildfires, and doctors gave medicine to the animals. Doctors cared for the animals day and night. So when we're helping an animal or we're helping a person get better, sometimes we have to stay up all day with them and also through the night. Sometimes the night can be the worst. So we have to be there for them. And a lot of these doctors had to go throughout the nights to try to help these animals to bring their health back up. The Irwin family helped care for the animals too. Together, they have helped more than 90,000 animals. The Irwin family has helped animals for many, many years. A famous zookeeper was part of the Irwin family. That zookeeper was Steve Irwin. Steve helped animals his whole life, and unfortunately, Steve died in 2006. Steve became very, very famous because he would go all around the world promoting wildlife, especially Australian wildlife. He also created or generated a lot of funds, money, to help with anything that he needed with the animals. So he was able to fund not only the zoo, but the hospital in the zoo and his show, which promoted the wildlife and familiarized us with all kinds of wildlife. My kids really, really enjoyed watching Steve Irwin. The Irwin family continues to help animals. The Irwin family includes Steve's wife, Terry Irwin. Steve and Terry have two kids. Their daughter, Bindi Irwin is 21 years old, and their son Robert Irwin is 16 years old. The Irwin family started a TV show in 2018. The TV show is called Crikey! It's the Irwins. You can see a little picture of it right here. I'm sure you can look it up on YouTube if you want to try to catch a few episodes. They're really, really great in explaining the animals of Australia. The TV show is about the Irwin family. The TV show films the Irwin family caring for animals. It films the Irwin family helping animals all around the world. The Irwin family loves animals. They care for animals at the Australian Zoo. The Irwin family helped animals after the Australia wildfires. They cared for animals at the zoo hospital. Would you like to care for animals? I think after looking at a few of the Australian animals, I would really love to start raising wombats. They're just too cute. Okay, let's talk about who. Irwin family. The Irwin family cares for animals at the Australia Zoo. Terry Irwin is from Eugene, Oregon. She met and married Steve Irwin in Australia. Bindi Irwin was married at the Australian Zoo in March. Wow, can you believe that? They got married inside the zoo. Robert Irwin. Now, if you remember, Robert is Steve and Bindi's son, and his name is Robert. He's 16 years old, and he is a wildlife photographer. That means he goes out and he takes photos of different plants and animals in the Australian outback. Now let's talk about the place in the news. Where? Australian Zoo. The Australia Zoo is in Queensland, and we talked about that is in the northeast region of Australia. The Australia Zoo is 50 years old in 2020. Whoa! Steve Irwin's parents started the Australia Zoo in 1970. Zoo visitors can learn about many, many animals. They can feed and pet animals too. So let's talk about where. Queensland, Australia. The Australia Zoo is in Queensland, Australia. Queensland is an area in the northeast section of Australia. Australia is a very big country, so we break it down in sections. So if you want to Google map this, it'll give you a little bit of an idea of where Queensland, Australia is. The Coral Sea is off the coast of Queensland. The Great Barrier Reef is in the Coral Sea. So you can see that Queensland is right about here where my arrow is, and then out here is the Coral Sea, and inside the Coral Sea you will find the Great Barrier Reef. Many people snorkel and dive around the reef. So there's a lot of things to do in northeast Australia. One of them is to go see the Irwin Zoo, the Australian Zoo, or you can snorkel and dive in the reef. So there's 1,000 things you can do at the northeast section of Australia and at the Australia Zoo. So we've got zoo snack mix if you're down for a little bitty snack. I love these kind of snacks because I don't think there's any cooking involved. It's basically putting it all in the bowl, stirring it, and eating it, and that's my kind of snack. And we've got some knock-knock jokes down here. And of course, just like every week, we've got a few worksheets down here that you can go through, and you can familiarize yourself with the Irwin family and how they help protect wildlife in Australia. I've got vocabulary words up. We've got a review page about what is the paper about, who helps the wild animals, where do the Irwin family bring animals, where is the Irwin family from, and where do the doctors care for the animals, and what are koalas and kangaroos? So we've got tons of worksheets to help you familiarize yourself with our subject this week. And I've got the vocabulary listed on the Google Docs or Google Classroom. And I've got your presentation questions listed there as well. So you can pick whatever animal you want and do your best to try to answer the questions that are based upon what's in the presentation questions. And then you can be ready to present on Friday whatever material or research that you've had done. So that's it from News to You this week. I hope you're having a great week. And if you need any more worksheets to help you familiarize yourself with this, you can always go back and you can find all of our worksheets right here under Other Materials. And it will open up to more things that you can familiarize yourself with as far as writing, cutting, pasting, coloring, and labeling. We also have, if you want to scroll down, if I can get this to scroll down, we also have a bunch of math and time and stuff like that. So you can see right here, gosh, I cannot get this thing to work for me. There we go. There we go. Oh, almost had it. Huh. Still not there yet. So you can see there's a lot of activities to do here, and this will just help you familiarize yourself with the subjects that we're talking about. And some of these are different levels, so you may want to scroll through them before you decide which ones that you want to do. There's definitely some writing in here. There's some mazes, but there's also some English language learning, and there's also some math and time and some webbing as well. Okay. All right. So that's my recording for this week, guys. And we will see you Tuesday morning. Enjoy. I'm going to post this on the YouTube channel. See you later.